All right, the last one we have for today. This is one I've wanted to talk about for a while, and if you guys didn't see it, like we talked about earlier, Call of Duty HQ leaks everything. DMZ has gotten more leaked. DMZ 2 in particular. So for those of you who don't know, this year we're getting Black Ops 7. Next year we're getting Modern Warfare 4. Nothing's ever been more predictable in Call of Duty. With Modern Warfare 4, apparently they are working on DMZ 2.0 as like the next big thing, like the thing that will probably take over for Warzone, the thing that will take over for a lot of things. And yes, it got leaked, but not fully, like not gameplay or anything like that. Just kind of what it's going to look like in the things that they've been working on in the game files that are already in the game because of Call of Duty HQ. So this is Jordan or Espresso's breakdown of that news, and we're going to check it out. And I'm going to give you my opinions on it because this is an important one, especially with like our graders coming out this year, Marathon probably coming out next year, and then this game coming out next year as well. Good music. I think that's Modern Warfare 2019 music. I think.
Even though we're still a year and a half away, the Modern Warfare 4
Where's that
leak train doesn't stop. Today we're taking a look at new details surrounding DMZ 2.0 and what gameplay changes appear to be on their way for the mode upcoming. Likely to be their third mode with the Modern Warfare 4 title this time around.
Yeah, we've already talked about that. We've already talked about the funky little Korean 4. Is it Korean? Did I mess? No, it's Korean. I'm right.
Necessarily Spec Ops. So drop your thoughts, drop a like, make sure to subscribe for more Modern Warfare 4 and other FPS coverage. There's a lot more to discuss before that, obviously. And if you want to join in on the conversations live, head over to the Twitch link down below as we're getting live over there quite a bit more. Might even be multi-streaming a bit more to YouTube soon, but that's a work in progress. But anyways, let's get into it. So here's what we know so far to catch you up to speed. Modern Warfare 4, likely as it will be called, will be Infinity Ward's next project in 2026. What the core gameplay is like, we have minimal details on. Whether it plays more like Modern Warfare 2019, Modern Warfare 2, or something else entirely is still up in the air, but will be developed by Infinity Ward here. We also do know that we'll see the campaign following Modern Warfare 3's storyline, multiplayer as a full-fledged offering.
Yeah, so these are, everything is explaining there is all from leaks. So we have heard that it'll take place in the near future. So at that point, like 2027-ish, and it'll follow Makarov's storyline and whatever he's doing next, and Korea.
And then DMZ will be the third mode coming that will be a part of that project. At a top level, there's a lot of things that are being debated as of earlier this year for DMZ in particular in Modern Warfare 4. Things like, will it be PvPvE, PvE, or potentially having an option?
And what do you want? Like, that's the question, right? Do you want PvPvE? Do you want PvE? I would say DMZ, I think PvPvE makes the most sense, but goddamn would I love a looter shooter. Like, I've said this for a very long time. If Call of Duty did an actual looter shooter and did it well with the way that the guns play, we've seen that they can do bosses. And I don't want zombies. I want like a legitimate looter shooter. I mean, I guess technically Modern Warfare Zombies was kind of that, but anyway, DMZ though, I'm guessing is going to be PvPvE.
Option for both. Things like a third mode being the paid entry, or will it be something that is free to play once again?
It's got to be free to play.
But it has been rumored that DMZ 2.0 will not be associated with Warzone in just about any capacity, which then lends cadence to that paid entry via the actual premium title, that theory there within.
Which does help with cheaters, by the way. So that could actually be a good thing.
What that means for gameplay, we don't quite know for sure. It is rumored that as of COD 2026 in Modern Warfare 4, that modes may have a forked version of the engine, where, while this isn't supposed to be taken as fact, but more of exemplifying what this could look like, you could theoretically have Modern Warfare 4 MP feel like Modern Warfare 2019 in theory, while DMZ in the same box could feel like a more tactical, slower, and more methodical pacing like Modern Warfare 2. And
we talked about this before. If there is a game to fork off from Warzone, it would be Modern Warfare 4. Will that happen? Doubt it, but
Warzone could be whatever they feel like it wants to be. Again, all in theory. This case of being disconnected is also proposed further, where DMZ apparently will be multiple maps, but those maps are going to be seen in ground war.
Yes,
that
so this is what I've heard as well.
Would for once be its own unique map, where segments of the multiplayer offering come from DMZ, and not necessarily the Warzone map like we've seen from Verdansk in Modern Warfare 2019, Al Mazrah in Modern Warfare 2, and Urzikstan in Modern Warfare 3. Now, yes, probably not the best wording to say.
I will say though, I do think there's a percentage of people who would want some sort of DMZ on Verdansk, because I do think that would be kind of cool.
For once, it's its own unique thing because we didn't see the ground war maps coming from Caldera. We haven't seen ground war maps in Black Ops 6 being from Verdansk once again, but you get what I mean. But anyways, for DMZ in particular, it's been previously rumored that we'll see newly enhanced AI that will be introduced with Modern Warfare 4, 12 to 16 teams of 3 for each match, designated DMZ maps, major updates every 2 seasons with smaller updates every season.
That's dumb. I don't know. First of all, I don't know where that came from. I don't think we would know that as of yet, by the way. But major updates every 2 seasons. If they're going big with DMZ, it needs to be more than that. And you need to have like new maps every half season and like a big like bosses and like huge things happening, like world events happening in DMZ if you want this to be a major thing people play.
And mid-season sprinkled in between there, 4 maps and a headquarters at launch.
Headquarters
DMZ
is huge.
Being a separate mode from Warzone and MP, again kind of throwing
like I keep saying, why are there no games with like, you know, Destiny has, I always forget the name of this thing, but Destiny has that planet that you go to. Why can I not think of the name of it every single time we talk about this? But like, or headquarters from World War II, which is coming out today. They need something like that where you can bring your gear back to sell it off the tower. Jesus, why can I never think of that? And yeah, that's huge. That would be huge for a looter shooter, or specifically a extraction shooter.
Into that idea that maybe it'll feel a little bit different. Events that will occur during matches that are crucial to your survival, and
whatever that means,
of PvE only and PvPvE. That's kind of where we were up until recently. Some things kind of like backing up former rumors, more rumors coming out, but that brings us to the newer reporting from Reality UK, a prominent leaker in the space, where he has alleged recently the DMZ 2.0 will feature a new point of interest difficulty labeled Extreme, DMZ having weather cycles of default, fog.
This is cool. Like, this is really cool. I hope they do this.
Rain heavy, snow heavy, and wind. There will be multiple ways to infill into DMZ of ground vehicles, helicopters, AC-130s, and a standard infill.
So, oh, that's for infills. Never mind. Yeah, that makes sense.
The DMZ is referred to as DMZ2 in the files and has its own unique operator front-end walking scene, as you see.
That just means its own menu, which makes sense.
With a couple of the other games that we have right now. And the DMZ will also have a 3D printer of some sorts.
This makes a lot of sense. So this 3D printer thing is actually, if you remember, so this is a conspiracy theory, a Call of Duty conspiracy theory, if you will. If you remember back to Modern Warfare 3, when Modern Warfare 2 ended, there was the cutscene on the airplane where they had the 3D printed weapon that they had on the airplane that they put together, and then that was like the big thing introducing Makarov. Everyone remembers that. I truly believe that DMZ 2 was supposed to be a part of Modern Warfare 3, and this 3D printer thing was supposed to be a way bigger thing, which they did. Sledgehammer did end up turning it into the weapon mods. But I think it was supposed to be way bigger, and I think it was supposed to be this. But it never came to be because they made them put out Modern Warfare 3 the very next year, and then they couldn't do something like this. That's my opinion. And hence why they had to sunset DMZ, and they couldn't be like, we're working on DMZ 2, because they knew it was going to be years before that would happen. Am I making sense here?
Not much to go off of, but it exists. So let's break these down a little bit here with this, because I think there's a decent bit that we can talk about in regards to each of these new sort of rumors on the scene. Dynamic weather cycles is one that is kind of new, kind of not, but I do like the sound of. Vonda was the first to introduce this in the sort of Warzone era with fog systems, where I think probably, I don't know if it would be the catalyst is the best word for it, but like, this is where the tech started. And I wouldn't be surprised if Vonda was always that sort of blueprint, that starting point where that was the testing ground for what they could do, where later in their next game, it would make sense that they'd end up being able to implement this on a larger scale. I mean, the first game that had it was Black Ops 4 with Arsenal Sandstorm. Personally really like the idea of having dynamic weather cycles. I think it adds not only to the atmosphere of each of these matches, but also adds for the gameplay alterations a way that not every single match will feel the same. Like, yes, Battle Royale, DMZ, in a slight sense, are sandbox modes where not every single gameplay loop will be the same. Something will happen differently from game over game. But I think this adds even more variance that adds a level of challenge, a level of alteration in how you approach situations and things alike. So I do like the sound of that. Like the heavy rainstorm could lead to a foggy atmosphere, wind could change maybe the trajectory of things like thrown grenades and where they land if windy enough, stuff like that. Though the one that I'm personally really looking forward to is the snow, because that signifies that we should have a DMZ map that is based in the snow. And I feel like
Korea, if they're doing Korea, does Korea get snow? This is something I should probably know, but maybe. Also, another cool thing. I don't know if they'll do this. If there is snow, if snow is falling, will we be able to see people's footprints in the snow? Just saying, could be really cool in DMZ.
Combat types in COD history in the last 10 years, there's been a significant lack of snow maps. Now, I don't know if that's just me, like feeling like, oh, I'd like to see more, and I'm missing the obvious, but I also love the aesthetic that is set up with this kind of stuff. Like, I think that Modern Warfare 3 campaign missions, for as little as I like that campaign, I loved that sort of snow tactical gear whenever you were picking up Shepard in the later portions of the campaign, where you had that cool snowy tactical aesthetic to your character design, and I think that that would be so sick to be able to rock as actual character customization in Modern Warfare 4 for one, but also be able to use that for DMZ to your advantage. That's just me though. The extreme level of difficulty, I think, poses very cool and unique opportunities.
So this is the one that I'm interested in as well, because if they do extreme difficulty, if they do it as like extreme difficulty is you're going to run into a big boss, that would make a lot of sense. Because that would make, I always found it interesting when you had something like that with like a boss and then enemies showed up. It makes it a lot more difficult. And then that's when you got people like 6-man teaming, and then that became an issue. So I wonder what they're going to do with all of that as well.
Things like high-level loot areas, potentially highly upgraded AI, and maybe multiple combatant threats of other operators all going for one highly contested area. I think that would be really cool and would be a really nice high-risk, high-reward type of thing here. Maybe like strongholds, but even buffed more. But I think it just poses a really cool opportunity to take what we saw with DMZ and ramp it up to 11, if you will. Hope that does become something within DMZ 2.0. The multiple infill options, this I think is truly just an evolution of how...
One thing that I think this does, and I've said this before, I think Call of Duty needs something in it for rewards that's RNG based to a certain extent. And DMZ did that, where you had to go into certain areas, find items that had a percentage of spawning in order to complete a set of challenges. That's like the grind factor of it. And DMZ, I mean, I guess technically Modern Warfare Zombies did this too. But yeah, that's something that doesn't exist. And it did when we had the Return to Verdansk event with the safes and things like that.
How you'll see yourself entering the match, and not much more beyond that. In DMZ, you simply had that sort of GTA style top-down loading screen looking approach where you were given the TAC map style display and then you flew into a given set spawn point. This is probably going to do the same thing, but incorporating those animations we've seen that Infinity Ward likes to use since Modern Warfare 2019. Coming in and being dropped off by a helo, perhaps like you see in the ground war animations. Having a Jeep or something bring you in as a ground vehicle. Having an AC-130 or C-130 style plane where you parachute in, and then that standard being the top-down perspective. I would also be curious if, and this is pure speculation, like please do not take this as something that is a part of a leak or reading into something like this, but more so my own pure speculation, I'd be curious if this was also a way to allow players to join matches in progress by having these sorts of protected sequences where you have that infill and then you're safe once you get in for a limited amount of time. I think that'd be really interesting, and I feel like with Modern Warfare 3 and the sort of Halloween sandbox mode they had where it was just an hour-long match, I'd be very curious if that would be something that they play around with in the future, where you have
highly doubt that
longer matches of DMZ, but you could join at later points instead of just having a new server start every single time there's 12 to 16 players in that match. So that'd be interesting for sure, I think, but we'll have to wait and see. And finally, a 3D printed machine of some kind. I have ideas, all of which again are pure speculation, so don't read too far.
My guess, crafting system, right? Like, I think that's what it comes down to. There was no previous way of bringing items out of the area and doing anything with it. It would just give you money. But if they actually have things you can loot and then craft with, like maybe you go in and you get resin. Maybe resin is your money in the game. And then you use the resin to 3D print whatever needs to be 3D print. It takes time. We've seen this before.
into it, but my mind immediately goes to something like a 3D printed attachment set that you could end up kitting your weapon with makeshift hand grips or stock modifications or something. Kind of like in the vein of aftermarket parts, but to a lesser degree for one, and perhaps something that is housed exclusively in DMZ, allowing you to maybe, I think, maybe collect more spare parts that could end up upgrading attachments and whatnot, adding a bit more value to those otherwise useless items you'd see and find all around DMZ locations in Modern Warfare 2. Because listen, there was a decent bit of stuff you could find, but how much of that was truly useless junk that you'd have to either sell at a buy station for a couple $100 going for some utility like a UAV or whatever the case, or you had one super obscure thing used in a crafting recipe or a mission quest item. I think this would potentially give much more of those obscure items a lot more of regular use situations, kind of like how Arc Raiders has metal.
We love Arc Raiders in these parts.
And rubber parts that you could scavenge and then use for upgrades to stash stations, weapon parts, and things like that.
So this is exactly what DMZ needs in the headquarters. So you go to like the tower area and this stuff is spread throughout. You can walk through it. You can see other people. Like the DMZ headquarters, it would be perfect, freaking perfect. And honestly, they should have done this in the 90s. Like imagine they did like Black Hawk Down and they did the staging area, the headquarters area as the stadium, like the stadium that you go through after the Mogadishu Mile. And that area was the DMZ.
But in the sense of DMZ in that case. So I think that would be the most logical explanation for a 3D printing machine. But again, we don't have any actual idea of what that could lead to. So it could be entirely off base, but that's kind of what I'm hoping to see out of that. But anyways, I am super curious to see what this will end up being, what this will all amount to, because it seems like we know a decent bit of leaks and rumors, but still, grand scheme of things, not a
Kill
whole
the
ton.
man, Jordan.
As we've stated so many times, I do think that DMZ was something special and frankly about one of the only things that I really enjoyed out of Modern Warfare 2's offering.
Yep,
and listen,
me too.
I get it. If you enjoyed Modern Warfare 2, I'm happy for you. Really glad you enjoyed the game. It personally wasn't for me on a number of different reasons, which I won't go into here, but I've said it from the beginning, and I'll say it again. I thought that DMZ was that special bit of potential that could have been something cultivated into something awesome. An entry point for the extraction genre in a time where the mode was still...
I don't understand why they abandoned it so hard. And maybe like they really were beta testing for something big, because that's kind of what they said they were doing. Maybe that is the case, but it's also a huge missed opportunity because now there's going to be way more competition in this. Like we have Arc Raiders coming out. We have Marathon coming out. We don't know what Battlefield's cooking. We think it's a battle royale, so maybe not there, but we'll see.
Relatively in its infancy, really. Because let's be real, Call of Duty is probably the most easy to pick up shooter on the market. It's often memed and made fun of because of just that. So to offer an extraction shooter, something that when released was predominantly something that was only ever seen in the hardcore fan bases, like all those games like Tarkov, Gray Zone, and so many other ones you could dig into, it's a lot more hardcore. So it was a special opportunity to get newer fans into the genre in a much more approachable fashion. I do think that even though it was a slightly missed opportunity to support it further, with DMZ 2.0 seemingly being a go, I think this could be another opportunity that I hope they do not miss on, and I hope that they continue to support, even say after Modern Warfare 4's main year of support. Especially because at this time, whenever 2020...
So if Modern Warfare 4 does a good job with DMZ, I truly believe it could be the staple that Warzone is. I truly believe that. And then what's going to happen is if it's really the thing that succeeds, Advanced Warfare 2 or Sledgehammer is going to get screwed over once again because they're going to have to adapt and overcome, which they seemingly always have to do time and time again.
6 rolls around, multiple AAA studios and publishers will have had entries into the genre that it'll likely become more mainstream because of that. Like Arc Raiders by Embark is a large one coming that I'm very excited for. Potentially Bungie with Marathon, depending on when
no one's excited for that.
Delayed and released at, though that still needs a lot of work, but a AAA title no less. It's Bungie after all. And there's rumors even of a Battlefield 6 having an extraction shooter. So AAA studios and publications are just again in the immediate forefront, taking notice and getting in on the trend. So maybe this will finally be enough this time around to do it and keep it going to keep that competition in the industry up. But we'll have to wait and see. That is all that we know right now. Some stuff that we learned about a little bit ago, and some new entries into the fold of what should bank in the back of your mind for still, unfortunately, a year and a half away at this point, if you are looking forward to DMZ 2.0.
Yeah, that's the
wanted to fill you guys in on all that we know.
Don't forget that this is not this year. This is like 2026. Like, this is next year.
So far, let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe for more DMZ and Modern Warfare 4, along with other FPS coverage I love to have in the community. For now, thanks so much for watching. Mine is Nespresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.
So really, out of everything that we've heard about Black Ops 7, about everything that we've heard about Modern Warfare 4, about everything that we've heard from all of this, the thing that I would probably say that I want to see the most is DMZ 2. I think it could be something really, really good. But time will tell, right? All of this is early leaks. All of this is data mined files. Things can change. Even with like what we're seeing with Black Ops 7 right now, and like the video I made about the score streaks the other day, very well could change. But give me dogs, for the love of God. Give me dogs in Black Ops 6. Why they're not there is dumb. Anyway, that's all.